So my first question is, how did you become a musician, and what's your story as a performer?
Oh my God. Okay.
We don't have that much time.
Yeah, we don't have that much time. Very quickly. So I was in third grade, and in my school, band started in fourth grade. But I saw the high school marching band play, and I wanted to be in the band. So I went to the band director, and I asked him if I could join the band. He said, the fourth graders have to pick first. After they pick, then whatever instruments are left over, you can pick from that. And so they had a flute, which I said no. They had a trumpet, I said no. And they said, we have a clarinet. And I'm like, I have no idea what a clarinet is. And I'm like, okay. And literally I started in fourth grade, and I've been playing since I was 8 years old. And
so other than school band, did you have any music in your life at home? Any parents or relatives playing music?
no one played.
Listening to music?
A lot of listening to
Okay.
music. My parents are from Cuba. And so there was a lot of Hispanic, Latin music in the house, and my sister's older than I am, so there was a lot of top 40 and kind of things, and so that combination happened. There was a lot of listening. No one played any instruments, but there was a lot of listening, and so the house always had music on. It's terrific.
What's your personal age or so history? When did you join the symphony, and if you remember, what was your first show here?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I know I started as a substitute musician here in 2007. I played for 3 years. After a while, Carlos appointed me to the orchestra, second clarinet. So I've been a member of the orchestra officially since 2010. I can't remember what those first concerts were. It's been a long time. I do remember some sort of Strauss Rosenkavalier suite kind of back in the day. Can't remember much more than that. I remember playing bass clarinet and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you remember, as you were studying though, what was there a classical piece that you played in the orchestra and you said, yeah, I want to play in a symphony orchestra because of Beethoven 9 or something like that?
Yeah. When I was in college, there was one afternoon where I was asked to play on a student recital, a singer. And so I played the Schubert Shepherd on the Rock in the afternoon, and in the evening we had an orchestra concert. We played Brahms' Second Symphony. And it was after that moment that I'm like, this is exactly what I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. This is perfect. So that, Stravinsky ballet suites, I enjoy. Hindemith, Symphonic Metamorphosis, kind of some of the big brassy classics, like that kind of got me more interested in.
So which college did you go to?
I did my undergraduate. I went to Rutgers University, which is a big school in New Jersey. My master's is from Yale School of Music, and my doctorate is from Michigan State. And so I played a lot of great music at all those schools.
And you're also teaching, right?
Yes, I'm the professor of clarinet at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and I've been there for 18 years now. So it's been terrific. And between playing here and teaching there, it's a full life. So it's pretty great.
The more general question I have about the state of our business, because we always talk about the state of our business. It's like weather and politics and things like that. So how do you see the future of this whole business of ours now? And has your view on it changed for the worse or for the better in the, let's say, the past 20 years? As you were doing it, whether you had predictions that never became reality and others that happened?
Well, okay. So in addition to Huntsville, I freelance a fair amount, and with some very good groups. And what's disappointing is, that the message of the wonder of the music that we play is not fully expressed to young people. Right? We try and get that across, and there are many different ways that orchestras try to do this, but it's sad to see orchestras that are trying very hard to keep a more youthful audience, a more contemporary audience, and I think they're trying. More people should get out there and enjoy going to an orchestra concert, giving it a chance the first time, because it's really terrific. It does make me a little concerned for the future, but it's just a matter of how we ingest it as opposed to just letting it fade. I think people ingest entertainment in different ways, and so we have to be on the cutting edge of how are we getting to the young people, how are we attracting the young people into this kind of thing.
So your point is that there's nothing wrong with the product.
The
right?
product is wonderful.
The product is great, right?
No, it's wonderful. It speaks to. There's a reason these pieces get performed hundreds of years after they're written, because they speak to humanity and sort of the human condition, right? And so it's just a matter of how do we package this in a way that for contemporary audiences. You know, there's a lot of competition for that entertainment dollar, as they say, right? And I think the sooner the top groups get into bringing that across to young people, I don't think there's a problem with the product. I don't think there's really ever been a problem with the product. It's just the communication to the young people.
You also play chamber music, right?
I do, quite a bit.
So how do you advertise, let's say, a chamber music concert with chamber music, including the clarinet, and trying to reach out to young people?
Well, unfortunately, I'm learning one of your pieces right now. It's a terrific piece, and it's a wonderful challenge. You have to go where young people are, and where they are is social media. You just have to do it. And I'm getting to be of the age where, I'm not a young person that immediately grabs onto social media, but I am a part of it, and I understand the influence and the importance of it. So I could tell my students all day long that I'm going to put on a concert, but the best way to do it is to, music buildings used to have these wonderful poster boards where you would advertise your recital and people would come to your recital, and now people don't do that anymore. Now they put it on Instagram, they put it on Be Real, they put it on Facebook, they put it on all these different places. Even Facebook to some is becoming passé, right? So you have to know where they are right now. Instagram is where they are right now. Be Real is where they are right now.
And how do you approach, because you just mentioned my piece, but you play a lot of contemporary music as well.
I do.
As a clarinetist should, I guess.
As any musician who cares about the future should.
So how do you look at classical repertoire versus contemporary repertoire? Do you approach it in any different way? Not as far as playing, but as far as packaging it for the audience? Do you find different challenges in that?
There's always a group of people that just doesn't like the idea of contemporary music, right? And I think every person that lives in the era where the new music is written, there's always a sort of hesitancy to embrace it, right? And of course, then we always say Beethoven was contemporary at some point, and now it is the established canon, right? So as we play pieces like yours, pieces like other pieces that I play, this is you have to get the train on the track somehow for it to be able to go somewhere, right? And so you have to, some people like a little sugar with their medicine. I get it. And so then a classic that they know will help bridge the gap in terms of they're similar in these ways. You have to be creative with programming. They're similar in this way. This is how this composer used to see, this contemporary composer relates to Beethoven in this way. And that way you at least try and meet the audience halfway with what you have. New music versus, there's always the balance of a good programming and smart programming. And I think that's important too. In chamber music, it's the same thing, But we have to keep playing the new music. You have to play the new music, because if not, it won't have it'll be a gap of generations of nothing, And we can't have that. For the future of it to exist, there has to be a canon that a tradition that continues. A family tree starts from generations past and passes through and has interesting twists and turns, and that's what our profession is.
In fact, I find it interesting that in any other field, it happens much more often than in music, is that you first get to know your contemporaries and then you learn the classics through, like a contemporary play. You're much more likely to go to the theater to see something that's current.
Correct.
And then go backwards in time, right? Same for movies.
Yes.
We watch what's out there now, and then maybe we discover old movies for ourselves if we like it.
New things are not as far afield from tradition as you think they are, especially people that watch film. One of the hobbies that I have is I love watching film.
You were answering my questions.
No, I can read.
That's my next question.
I can read your mind, man. I can read your mind. I know where we're going with this conversation.
So what are you doing when you're not making music? That's the next question.
Okay, cool. No, I just, to finish the previous thing, like, it's much easier to see how a Hitchcock movie influences an M. Night Shyamalan movie, influences the more contemporary stuff, the David Fincher movies, right? I like to watch a lot of movies. And so it's the same thing if presented in that way. It's tied to this. You know, the camera angles, the dollies. It's the similar tradition. It's just they contemporary with some contemporary twists on it. The same thing with what we do. It's like we have to do a better job of showing how our art has developed, but also still pulls from the past. And as you can do that, then you bring in people that have a preconceived notion. Well, I really like Bach. Well, gosh, if you really like Bach, you're going to love Mahler's Fifth Symphony. You know, if you like, you know, there's always something to tie something back into something else. You know, so what do I do? Well, I have two children. Ozzy, my son, he's 14. He takes piano and drum set lessons. That's his thing. My daughter is 12. Olivia, she does roller derby. She does junior roller derby in Tuscaloosa. She does a lot of musicals, plays the trumpet in school. Proud of both of them. They're both terrific.
So she said yes to the trumpet.
She said
because
yes to the trumpet.
You said no to the trumpet when you were a kid.
Yeah. That was I really had to bite my tongue on it. But as long as she's playing something and she enjoys it, right. I don't care what it is. I like to go to movies. I like to travel when I get the chance. I love good food. As much as when I travel, food is one of the great joys in life, I have to say. So between the movies, food, taking my kids from place to place,
and music.
Really, that's true. Well, that's my career. The stuff that I do after that is the other stuff. But I have a full life, and I'm very lucky.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, man. It's a pleasure.